Ladies and gentlemen, Trump is sending Hunter to prison when he regains the Oval Office. I want to just read you an article in The Independent, or at least the headline. Is Donald Trump going to prison? Well, he's not. He never will, because he never committed a crime. There is literally nothing he's accused of that's an actual crime. He's accused of trying to overturn democracy. He never did that. He went through his attorneys, just like Democrats did, just like Clinton did. He went through his attorneys. He went through his law firms and attorneys and through the court system. That's why when they said he lost, endless court cases. Yeah, he lost endless court cases. There you go. That's the end of that. Then they said, oh, well, he's indicted in New York for hush money payments. Hush money. Oh, hush money. Meanwhile, you have Hunter clear, not only graft, corruption, bribery, kickbacks, emails linked to Joe and to others wanting beneficial treatment and U.S. foreign policy to be altered. There are emails asking for U.S. foreign policy to be altered in the New York Post. The main email that you can read in the New York Post is, how can you use your influence on the company's behalf? It's right there. How can you use your influence on our company's behalf? Influence being U.S. foreign policy. There is no Donald Trump laptop. There was a dossier that was probably an autobiography of Bill Clinton's life. That's it. And it was completely fabricated. They don't have anything in New York because there's no FEC crime. So the federal government didn't even find Trump. They fined Clinton and the DNC. That'll be thrown out on appeal. They will not. They'll probably convict him in New York. It'll be thrown out by the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court throws out corruption convictions all the time. There was one big one in Virginia recently. So he didn't commit a crime there. What else? The classified data is like a complete joke. I talk about that today. So he's not going to go ahead and be indicted, or let's put it this way. If he's indicted, he'll be convicted in D.C. or New York. It'll be overturned. You don't have to, a D.C. and New York jury will almost certainly convict Trump. The appeals process is different. They're going to have to prove, there's also, you can't indict Trump on classified data and obstruction when Clinton literally took hammers and obliterated computer hardware and cell phones, okay? One side takes hammers and just obliterates and destroys cell phones and computers and monitors, and then Trump apparently didn't comply, and it was a big problem. So all of this will be overturned on appeal. You don't have to be a legal scholar to see that it's overturned on appeal. You don't take 7 years to try to find some crime. We already knew the crimes 2 years ago, but Twitter suspended the New York Post. So there you go. We already knew that there were crimes linked to Hunter and Joe. The problem is the Attorney General. We had Jeff Sessions and William Barr under Trump. Okay, William Barr was marginally better. He was a good deal better than Jeff Sessions. Jeff Sessions was the worst Attorney General of all time. Once Trump gets a better Attorney General, or actually a Justice Department that backs him, he will then look at the crimes that Hunter committed alongside Joe. Almost certainly Hunter did. Let's say Hunter's innocent. Let's say he's innocent of hundreds of millions of dollars just flowing into his businesses, corporations, just because what? He's not actually skilled or knowledgeable within the businesses that he's consulting, or the industries that he's consulting. Why do you think they're giving Bill and Hillary and Joe and Hunter all this money? If you're a morally superior, highly educated liberal Democrat and you just can't stand what I'm talking about, I respectfully ask you, why do you think they're getting all this money? Not for casinos or The Apprentice or hotels. Trump actually sells things. He actually does things. He doesn't just, serve on the board of directors and then just get money. Then they say, oh, Ivanka did it. That's a business. They're not selling influence. Nobody is emailing Ivanka or Jared Kushner saying, how can you use your influence on behalf of our company? No, that was Hunter. And so that's why you have Twitter under the old regime before Elon Musk covering up all the crimes. See, what political side they Democrats say that Republicans or Trump is an authoritarian. Well, what political side likes to censor and silence debate or discussion or any journalism on actual investigative reports? What side censored the New York Post? Did Trump ever censor the New York Times or Washington Post? It would never happen in a million years. They would never allow that to happen. And that's why, again, it's like this. They're such narcissists that when the Twitter files came out, the only thing they could derive from it was that it was just protocol. But it is not protocol to side with one political party, even if you design the corporate rules or procedures or guidelines around one political party. You have to be really stupid to not see what the Twitter files are all about. The rebuttal from the highly educated, morally superior is, well, it's just the way things were. The government and the Federal Bureau of Investigation were helping Twitter with their existing guidelines and protocol. What's the problem? That's just the way things are. It's messy. No. You benefit politically, so you look the other way. If you have a corporation and your rules and guidelines or procedures within the corporation happen to benefit one political party, let's say the Republican Party, at the expense of Democrats, and then you create algorithms that will harm the Democratic Party and help the Republican Party, censoring and silencing anything that could hurt the Republican candidate, well, then obviously Democrats would never stand for that. You can't just create a corrupt system and say, well, the system is corrupt because that's how we created it. The people are this is really hilarious. If you grew up before the internet, you could see this so clearly. I think the problem is that when people, and there's a lot smarter people than I am, who were brought up right after the internet, and the only thing they know is the internet. But I think that the problem here is that you have an attorney general. We'll get to the attorney general under Trump is going to do exactly what Jeff Sessions and William Barr should have done, and what Durham should have done. And so you're talking about people who, according to the Durham probe report and according to Hunter's laptop, committed crimes, set him up and framed him. And so, Trump is like the political equivalent of Charles Bronson. He's like the Charles Bronson of American politics. He's like the, Chuck Norris of American politics, or, the Jean-Claude Van Damme, or the, it's like he's like an action hero where everything is sent his way, and then he's, like James Brown, engaging in payback. He'll engage in the payback because not only are Democrats and the wonderful morally superior among us very treacherous, but they're also inept and incompetent. So they're looking at, look at all these legislative accomplishments. Biden's doing a great job. We're heading towards a recession. We still have real wages. Real wages, I believe, have always been down under Biden's administration. People have always been losing money on their paycheck, or almost always. And poverty has increased under Biden. We had record low poverty with Trump. And then foreign policy is an unmitigated disaster. I mean, are you better off, even if you don't like Trump, are you better off under Biden? Can you deal with some tweets? Can you deal with some tweets, maybe? And just have a good economy? God forbid you deal with tweets and you have a good economy and a great foreign policy. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. With a new attorney general, it's on for Trump. Give me your thoughts.